How to calculate pain and suffering damages. Well, in a personal injury case, there's generally two kinds of damages that an injured party can recover. The first is called economic damages, and the second is called non-economic damages. And who cares what the legal terms are, but it's relevant, and here's why. Economic damages are things like payments for medical treatment, payments for lost work, and these things can be calculated by looking at actual medical bills or looking at pay stubs and seeing real numbers and just doing simple arithmetic or multiplication and coming up with a number. The more complex things to calculate are called non-economic damages, and that includes payments for things like pain and suffering, physical impairment, disfigurement, things like that. Essentially, these are things that don't come with a bill or a receipt. So how do you calculate pain and suffering? Well, there's a few different methods used by different folks in different jurisdictions. One of them is sometimes called a per diem method, and essentially what you do there is you look at the person's amount of pain and suffering and you assign a number to it. Let's say it's $100 a day, and let's say it took 1,000 days before they reached maximum, before they got better. So then you just simply take $100 times 1,000 days, $100,000, and that would be the number that you would present as your number for pain and suffering. Another method is a multiplier method, and this is somewhat common, and usually it's a number between 1, 1.5 to maybe 5 on a high end to multiply the economic damages, which would be the medical bills and so forth. So the way this works is, let's say your medical bills are $10,000 and you're going to use a multiplier of 2, then you go 2 times $10,000 is $20,000, and that would be the number you present for your pain and suffering. And this depends on a lot of things. There's no one size fits all. And of course, if you are seeking damages, you're going to want a multiplier 3, 4, maybe even more. If you're the insurance company, you're going to say, no, you're not entitled to anything, or maybe a 0.5 multiplier, something like this. So there's no book you're going to look at and say, this is what the number is based on these set of facts. It's all kind of squishy, if that's a good word. So the multiplier depends on a lot of things. It depends on the severity of the injuries. Were they life-threatening, or was it just a cut that healed up in a few days? It's going to talk about the intensity of your pain. Was this like a 10 of 10, or was this maybe 2 of 10 over a long period of time? And then time is also important, the duration. If it's a small duration, it's going to be a small number. If it's going to be a very, very long duration, it's going to be a big number. And then another factor would be, how did the pain impact your life? Were you able to continue living your life as normal, or was your life completely turned on its head because of the injuries, the pain, and the suffering? And then it also depends too on whether you make a full recovery. If you make a full recovery after a short period of time, it's not going to be that large of a number. But if you don't make a full recovery, and this is going to go on for your life, the number is going to be significantly more substantial. So there's also kind of an insurance company method, and what the insurance companies do is they've handled many, many thousands and hundreds of thousands of claims, and so they have a database of these claims, and they sort of put in all the parameters and come up with what they think a claim is worth. A lot of them use this program called Colossus, and they input a bunch of factors, and Colossus spits out what the case is worth. So if you've got questions about your pain and suffering damages claim and you happen to be in Nevada where I practice law, feel free to give me a call or drop me an email and we can talk about it.